You're not here by accident. Not really. Something, a tiny current of curiosity, a nudge you couldn't name, steered your thumb, landed your eyes on this frame, and now you're listening. While most will scroll and shrug, you paused. That pause matters. It's the doorway that separates the curious from the awakened. And what you're about to hear isn't fluff. It's a practical map for shifting how life shows up for you, starting now. Listen. The universe doesn't merely tolerate coincidence, it responds to a pattern. Your attention, emotion, and subtle expectations form a waveform. Science calls the strange behavior at the heart of reality the observer effect. Ancient traditions called it remembrance. Both point to one practical truth. What you notice changes what you find. That small fact rewrites how you treat every day. Here's a quick real-world anchor before we dive deeper. In the famous double-slit experiment, particles act like waves until they're observed. Then they choose a single path. Drop the jargon. Reality looks different depending on whether you're watching it with tense fear or relaxed curiosity. Your inner state is not noise, it's a tuning knob. Turn it, and the world responds. Most people expect transformation to arrive like fireworks. Loud, dramatic, unmistakable. The 1%, the people who shift quickly and radically, understand the quieter truth. Deep change happens in the micro-moments. It's the 5 seconds you choose patience instead of panic. The breath you take that unhooks you from an old story. Big breakthroughs are often the visible end of thousands of invisible moments aligned. Now let's make it concrete. Think of your consciousness as a radio receiver. The station you want, abundance, calm, creative flow, is already broadcasting. You're not trying to create a new station, you're adjusting your dial. The problem isn't lack of signal. It's that your internal settings are tuned to your old identity. Retune and the music comes in clear. But the retuning isn't just about positive thinking. Anyone can repeat affirmations while their energy contradicts the words. The real shift is felt more than it's thought. It requires matching the subtle physiology of your chosen reality. Steady breath, softened shoulders, relaxed eyes, and a posture that signals, I am available to receive, rather than I must control. These are tiny, repeatable rituals that change your internal frequency, and over time they change your outer world. Here's a surprising fact most teachers skip. Your nervous system stores patterns faster than your conscious mind can reason them out. That's why habit-level states, anxiety, scarcity, reactivity, keep replaying even after you've intellectually understood a new idea. The bridge between knowing and being is embodied practice. You don't think your way into a new reality. You feel your way into it, one micro-choice at a time. Let's list 3 practices the 1% use. Each takes less than a minute and rewires your field. The 2-second pivot. When a thought drags you into worry, inhale for 2 seconds, hold for 1, exhale for 4. As you do, state internally, I choose presence. Repeat until the body follows the mind. The frequency check. Stop and notice the dominant feeling in your chest. Rate it 1 to 10. Then ask, what would this feel like at +2? Tilt your posture and breathe into that +2 feeling for 30 seconds. You've just raised your baseline. The minute of unconditional expectation. Close your eyes. Imagine one small thing you want happening in perfect detail. Spend 60 seconds feeling gratitude as if it's already occurred. That emotional rehearsal primes your field. These sound simple because they are. And that's the point. Complexity creates resistance. Simplicity creates alignment. Now some clarity about science and spirituality. There's a temptation to say quantum and call it magic. Don't do that. Quantum mechanics describes precise, reproducible phenomena. Entanglement, probability amplitudes, observer-dependent states. What's useful for you is the principle. The act of measurement influences outcomes. In everyday terms, attention influences possibilities. That doesn't mean your thoughts are mystical wish buttons. It means your internal state consistently correlates with the patterns you attract and the choices you make. Here's an interesting empirical twist. Intention plus preparation beats raw wishing every time. The brain is a pattern detector and a planner. When your intention is paired with small, aligned actions, networking, learning, quietly preparing, the brain spots opportunities the person in worry mode misses. Your attention literally filters the world for the evidence you're tuned to. So align the inner frequency and let your behavior become the gentle architecture that lets the new reality assemble itself. What blocks most people? 2 predictable things: rigidity and impatience. Rigidity says, I must be the exact same person so I'm safe. Impatience says, If it doesn't happen fast, this is proof it won't happen at all. Both are frequency leaks. The 1% operate with flexible identity. They try on possibilities as experiments, not existential threats. They treat time as a tool. Delays become data, not doom. Here's another counterintuitive fact. Your past is not a prison, it's a map. Neuroscience shows memories are reconstructed each time we recall them. That means you can learn to retell your past in ways that orient you toward possibility rather than victimhood. Reinterpretation is a skill. It doesn't erase facts, but it changes the emotional trajectory those facts produce. That shift in tone changes how energy flows from you into the world. Let's talk about proof. Proof is seductive because it feels safe. Show me and I'll believe. But transformation often requires a different order. Embody, then observe the proof. Why? Because evidence is created by alignment. You don't wait for the world to mirror you. You move first and let the mirror catch up. That's the leap the 1% make. They act as if the possibility is already in motion, and their behavior nudges reality into conformity. Practical checkpoints for applying this today. Start small. Pick one domain, money, relationship, creativity, and commit to a micro-practice for 21 days. Small repeated calibrations compound. Notice your language. Replace "I can't" with "I'm learning how." That subtle tense shift changes expectation and lowers internal friction. Seek contradictory evidence deliberately. Ask, what would prove I'm already on the path? Then look for tiny confirmations. Your field will answer because you're now scanning for different data. Now a short myth-busting pass because it matters. Myth, manifestation is passive. Fact, manifestation that lasts is active. It requires alignment plus action plus recalibration. Myth, you must feel perfect to attract good things. Fact, imperfect alignment works. It's momentum, not perfection, that changes outcomes. Myth, quantum equals instant miracles. Fact, quantum principles explain possibility structures, not fairy tale rewrites. They require consistent engagement. Here's a practical ritual that's experimental and grounded. The 90-second recalibration. Use it after any setback. Breathe slowly for 90 seconds. Acknowledge what went wrong without drama. Name one microstep you can take next. And then visualize the immediate next small win for 30 seconds. This reset reduces cortisol spikes and keeps your nervous system teachable instead of defensive. You'll also want to cultivate what I call observational grace. That's the capacity to notice what's true without making it mean anything catastrophic about you. When you observe with grace, feedback becomes instruction rather than indictment. The quantum field responds to presence that's curious and non-reactive. Practice observing one uncomfortable thought today with the phrase, "Interesting, that's a story, not a rule." See how the story loosens. Remember, your environment mirrors your inner frequency. If you're constantly in scarcity mode language, scrambling, comparing, bargaining, your field will produce experiences that match that tone. If you cultivate a baseline of sufficiency, gratitude, resourcefulness, steady expectation, your field reorganizes. This isn't wishful optimism, it's consistent resonance. A surprising productivity note that changes everything. When you operate from aligned presence, decisions that used to take hours arrive instantly. Why? Because your internal criteria are simplified. Does this move me closer to the felt reality I embody? If yes, proceed. If no, pass. Simplifying decision rules frees creative bandwidth. Now for a quick accountability prompt. Type in the comments, "I choose to tune higher." Don't make it performative. Treat it as a tiny immune system strengthening for your intention. It's a signal you send outward that also solidifies your inner commitment. Social acts like this stabilize the nervous system. You're broadcasting and you're anchoring at once. One more deep truth before we close. Linear time is a model, not a master. In lived experience, possibilities overlap. Future capacities coexist with present realities. You're not climbing toward yourself. You're remembering a version of you that already exists in the landscape of potential. Each breath that aligns with that version pulls a little more of that possibility into the present. So what's the first actionable thing to do after this video? 3-step starter protocol. Breathe 6, 3, 8 for 1 minute. Pick one vivid micro-image of what you want, not a vague wish, a specific scene. Spend 30 seconds feeling gratitude for it, as if it's arrived. Do that twice a day for a week, and observe the pattern shifts. Tiny practices are how the quantum field learns your new name. This path isn't about bypassing reality. It's about learning the language of reality, attention, emotion, and embodied repetition. When you speak that language clearly, doors that were once locked start to open. Synchronicities become predictable, not magical. Opportunities appear in the margins of your life because your attention begins to highlight them. If this lands with you, subscribe, not just to the channel, but to the practice. Join the small percent who live deliberately, who treat inner alignment as the most powerful strategy available. The 1% aren't chosen by fate, they're sculpted by consistent choices. One last thing, the universe isn't testing you, it's inviting you. Each challenge is a calibration prompt. Where is your energy stuck? What story are you replaying? Answer with curiosity, not blame. Hold your frequency steady and let timing do its work. Detours become the creative engine of preparation. Delay is often the universe buying you rehearsal time, so the next opportunity lands on a stage you're ready for. You were never meant to survive this life. You were meant to co-create it. Manifestation without dread is possible. Flow without flailing is possible. Choose trust over control, practice over pretension, and presence over panic. Start now. Retune, not by force, but by consistent, embodied attention. The signal is loud enough. Will you turn the dial? If you're ready to go deeper into how observation shapes outcomes, real techniques you can use immediately, stay for the next video. We'll unpack exact nervous system hacks and a 21-day protocol that rewires your baseline in measurable ways. But for now, leave one sentence in the comments. I tuned to possibility. Say it like you mean it, and let the field hear you. Welcome home. Welcome to the practice. Welcome to the 1% who don't just learn truth, they live it.